Stupid shit like this happens all the time when I film in these videos. So I wanted to come on here and talk today about collecting overall, but also the PlayStation 5. You know, recently some news has come out from thegamer.com, I believe was the website. And it talked about how it was like 670 employees from Sony are going to be let go. And a lot of these employees work in the manufacturing department that's in charge of creating the physical media, you know, in terms of Blu-rays and physical games for PlayStation. So 250 jobs are now going out the window, and a lot of these jobs are the people that produce things like this that I enjoy collecting. Physical games. You know, this is my small little PlayStation 5 collection. You know, it's very curated. I'm not going to have any shovelware in here. But, you know, regardless, you know, I know that the digital future is upon us and it's inevitable at this point. But my main thing is, you know, for one, there's a lot of things, but for one, it's not good for the consumer, you know. As a buyer, as a collector, sometimes I buy games that it so happens that I don't like, you know, and then I just don't play anymore and I want to get rid of it. I have the option to sell this game. I have a MERCARI account, I have an eBay account. I can resell these games and then buy something else that I want to play currently. Now, on top of that, there's a limited amount of physical games. So the demand versus the cost of making it, you know, the used value involved with it is basically going to determine the price. Where a digital game that has endless print count, you know, you can just make endless infinity amounts of these games, and you can keep it at the same price for however long you want, because there's so many of them. They're not scarce at all. And what's stopping them from just keeping a game that's 10 years old $60? You know, if you're willing to pay for it, why wouldn't they keep it that way? Where, like a game like this, if I want to sell it on MERCARI, I can personally choose how much I want to sell it for and give that buyer a fair deal. You know, it's also coming from another gamer. There's that as well. Also, I want to talk about just the aspect of collecting in itself, in the culture of gaming. You know, it's a big part of it. I've been collecting games for, I would say, nearly 30 years now, off and on. And I've been playing games since I was probably 5 or 6 years old. So there's something to it where, you know, I see a physical version of a game like Resident Evil 2 and, you know, opening it up, reading the label. Like, I remember going to my friends' houses and like sneaking into their older brother's room when he's out hanging out with his friends, and me and my buddy would go in there and play games we weren't old enough to play, like Resident Evil and Resident Evil 2. And I remember reading the box art and looking at the back of the game and like reading about it, and just little things like that are just so enjoyable when I think about gaming. And I know the younger generation has no ties to physical media, and that's fine, but you have to also respect and value the opinion of people that have been in it for a long time, you know, because stuff like this does matter to us, and it is important. You know, a lot of people just enjoy the hunt, the thrill of going out and finding a new game, going to gaming conventions, talking about games, trading games, selling games, finding new games out in the wild. And all of this is engraved in the gaming culture. So it is sad to see these things fizzling out and dying out. And I've wanted to make content and talk about this for a long time, but it's just now kind of hitting me, because with PlayStation saying this, you know, it's really just going to be Nintendo going forward, I really think. they'll be the last ones kind of holding it down for physical media. And I really appreciate that, and I will continue to support them. This honestly, okay, let's talk about the PlayStation 6, for example. If it comes out and it's digital only, no physical games coming out for it, which is probably going to be the case, what reason do I have to buy a gaming console if I can't even collect for it and, you know, try out the different, you know, I know the exclusives are there and I can still play them digitally, but if we're coming to that point where I can't even buy physical games for the exclusive console I have, I'm sorry, I'm going to PC. Like, I'm going to build a PC, I'm going to get on Steam, and that's where I'm going to buy my games. And if it comes down to the fact where I might have to wait a year or two for that game to come out over to PC, then so be it. I don't care. Like, I'm not going to buy a PlayStation 6 if it's digital only. I'm sorry. So I'll still continue to support the PlayStation 5 and buy physical games for it, but going forward, I'm sorry. I will switch over to Steam and be a PC player because I'm not going to support a gaming company that's no longer supporting the culture of gaming and acknowledging that we want physical media still. At least give us the option. It's not like you're making less money than you were before. You've always been able to produce this. You're just being cheap and cutting out jobs and people to save money, like straight up. You don't care about the consumer, and it's making me not care about you. And I've supported you since the PlayStation 1. I've owned every single console you have produced. Yeah, it's a bummer. It's a real bummer. And I know I'm not the only one that feels this way. And I also feel for the people that are going to lose their job. Because we throw out these numbers and we don't even think about the aspect of, yeah, it's almost 700 people that are going to get laid off. As someone that was just laid off from a job I love back in February, I feel for those people. And I hope that they go on to do something they love and find another job that inspires them. Because, you know, a lot of them probably took pride in that work. It just sucks all the way around. I never thought that, I don't know, growing up, you never thought something like this would completely happen. And, you know, maybe I'm just being dramatic and reading into it too much. I don't know. But I really don't think I am. And as someone that cherishes those memories growing up of asking for a game, getting it on Christmas, unwrapping it, reading the label, reading the manual, looking at the different discs, you know, playing it on Christmas morning. There's nothing like that feeling, and I kind of feel for the kids that are just going to be handed like a piece of cardboard with a download code on it. Maybe it's just as cool, and they collect the car. I have no idea. But it kind of bums me out a little bit. The culture of gaming is dying a little bit in that sense. So I don't know. I don't want to go on and on and on with this video, but I just wanted to basically talk about how the PlayStation 5 will be the last console I probably own and collect for outside of maybe the next Nintendo Switch, because I know that they will produce physical cartridges and it'll be backwards compatible with the regular Switch, so I look forward to that and I will support them. But overall, it's off to build a PC, and we had a good run with PlayStation, but probably won't be buying a PS6. You know, I'm going to continue to build my little PS5 library. Whoa. And my PS4. Still love my PS4 games as well. But until next time, stay blessed, my friends.